Hello, I am Vivian McGrath from vivianmcgrath.com, and today I'm going to talk about the truth about your children. And sometimes this is quite a hard thing to face because when you've been repeating a pattern of toxic relationships, often children are the hidden victims, and you think, well, they're strong, they're fine, they're coping with it really well, but actually what you don't realize is you're passing a legacy down to them that's going to repeat. And they're going to end up repeating the same patterns and possibly ending up in toxic relationships themselves, or even worse, being the toxic one. So it's really important that we talk about it and I speak the truth about it, because I know that all of us parents want the best for our kids. We want to be the best role model we possibly can be for them. We want them to have confidence in themselves and in their bodies. We want them to have good boundaries that protect them. And we want to see them successful in their careers, doing what they absolutely love the most. Everybody wants that for their kids. But what I found to be really interesting is I speak to women every day, and most of them say to me, well, actually, let me be truthful, all of them say to me, I'm worried about my kids. And one of them said that she noticed her son was just starting to withdraw and not talk to her so much. Another one, she recognized that her son was starting to copy her ex's toxic behavior towards her. Another woman was really concerned that her daughter was developing an eating disorder. And a fourth one started noticing that her daughter's relationship with a guy was really showing up red flags for her. And she was very, very worried about her. They were all very worried about their children. And then there's the guilt, the mother guilt or the father guilt. But I can talk about mother's guilt because, man, I still have guilty mother dreams to this day. But the guilt that all of these women say to me for staying in toxic relationships way too long and struggling afterwards to really pick themselves up again and recover from them and heal enough to move forward with their lives. They're on this sort of autopilot. To the outside world, their life looks fine. You know, they go to work, they do a great job, they come home and put food on the table. So outwardly, there's nothing drastically wrong, but they're not present enough for their kids. They know it. They feel it. They feel that the connection between them and their children is starting to fray. And they're starting to see signs that their children are acting out, testing the boundaries, testing their love for them. And they themselves, when this starts to happen, lash out at their kids. And that adds to the guilt even more because they're just trying to pick themselves up again. You know, they're trying to pick themselves up. They don't know who they are anymore. They feel a bit lost. They're lacking in confidence. And it's starting to they can see how it's just rippling out to their kids. And their kids are there's a distance between them. But the kids are starting to test and act out, and then they lash out. Then they feel more guilty, and they're starting to spiral down. And it worries them. And then when I go deeper with them, I start to see that they are actually themselves very, very deeply unhappy within. They don't like what they see in the mirror anymore. They see a tired shell of who they once were. They're starting to put on weight because they're comfort eating. They're not sleeping well. They're having one or two too many glasses of wine, and they tell me I feel unlovable. I feel unworthy. I hate when I look at the mirror. I don't like what I see. I know I eat for comfort, not for health. I'm not bothering to exercise or look after myself anymore. And I've just got no joy in my life. I go to work, I do all the right things, I put on a happy face, everyone thinks I'm strong, but I'm really unhappy within. I just don't feel joy anymore. And I just feel that sad and lonely and worried that I'm going to end up alone. And I'm unmotivated. I find it hard to go to work and really put 100% effort in. And when I ask them, if you keep going on like this, where is this going to lead you? They start to really worried. They said, I'm already seeing signs it's impacting my health. And I actually am deeply worried that I could end up losing my job. And worse, I really am afraid of the role model I'm portraying to my children. I'm really afraid that I'm losing that connection to my kids, and they're already in their teenage years, and what if they get older? I'm really afraid I'm going to lose my kids, that they're going to look at me, see me as a failure. They're going to lose that respect for me. They're going to look down on me, and they're too afraid to face the truth. And this is why I wanted to do this video, because I want you to see the truth about your children. They all say to me, I die for my children. I want to be the best role model I can for my children. And they say this with absolute heartfelt conviction. They really deeply mean it. They deeply love their children. But when I say to them, you've just described this person you've become, that you're this shell of yourself, that you've got no joy, you lash out, you drink too much, you comfort eat, you barely go through the motions at work, you're just surviving, not thriving. Then are you ready to put the work in and change your life, start to change your life and heal, to become the best version of you? They just say to me, I can't. And they come up with all these excuses and why they can't. And the truth is, none of those excuses are true. They're just stories that they want to believe because they're too scared. They're afraid of the unknown. They're scared to step out of that comfort zone that they've got into, which they know is not a comfort zone. They hate the person they've become. And I say to them, dying for your kids is not the point. Living for them is. Because living for them is the best role model you can be. If you can step up and show them the best version of you, the mum who gets up excited about the day, who is throwing herself into life with a passion and purpose, who really is doing what she loves and gets joy from it and earns good money for it. If she is showing her kids what self-worth, self-love, career success, healthy relationships looks like, if she's showing them what unlimited possibilities when you go for your dream without fear, then you are doing exactly what they want you to do. They want to see that their mum is winning at life. They want to see their mum powerful, strong, empowered. A great role model of how, when you put your mind to anything, you can be a success at it. And unless you lead by example and stop saying, I'd do anything my kids, I'd die for my kids, when you're not, you're in this slump and in this pattern of unhealthy, dysfunctional behavior and just saying to yourself, well, I can't, it's too late for me, and finding all the reasons why you can't. You know, you are, if you keep going down that path, the window of opportunity is so small that you will wake up one day and it will be too late. You will have lost your kids and they will have disconnected from you and lost respect and look down on you and see you as a failure and move on and find better role models. But worse, if you don't break this legacy of what being in a pattern of toxic relationships has done and where it's left you. Yes, this is not blaming you. I get that you've had a hard life and it's been tough. But you know what? There is a choice around it. And unless you do, you know, God forbid you keep going down that path, your kids will end up with eating disorders, repeating the pattern in dysfunctional relationships, attracting only toxic partners, or being toxic themselves. You won't break that pattern. And the truth about your children is your past becomes their future if you let it. You know, the proudest thing, the proudest achievement ever in my life is that I broke that pattern. And I said to myself, I got out of a very violent relationship in which I was almost murdered, because I said to myself, that is not what I want to bring my son up around. I do not want to pass that to my child, because I thought, if I don't break that cycle, one day he will repeat that and become a victim or become the toxic one himself. And I also realized it wasn't enough to just get out and feel sorry for myself and think, wow, what a bad bit of luck or life I've had. And now I've got out. I can just sit there and think, you know what, feel sorry for myself. I've got reason to. I could have then comfort ate. I could have just, you know, drunk too much and just gone into all the reasons why I couldn't go further. But that wasn't enough. I wanted to be the best version of myself possible. I wanted to show my son what's self-worth. I listened to that song, you know, The Greatest Love of All by Whitney Houston. Go and listen to those lyrics. And that really resonated with me. I thought, if I don't show my child what's self-worth, strong boundaries, a self-love, healthy relationships, if I don't show him how to face life without fear, build strong boundaries, go for my dreams, show him that even though at that point in my life I had nothing, I left with my baby and what I could fit into my car. I had nothing. But I showed him that if I could be the best version of myself, then I could create the life I dreamed of. And that's exactly what I did. And now what's happened is I led by example. And guess what? My sons now are fearless. They've pursued their careers with passion, and they both get paid well to do what they love. And they're now in very healthy relationships. And that pattern's been broken. So if you are really ready to do anything for your kids, forget about dying for your kids, live for your kids. Don't just survive and be a lesser version of you. And if you're ready to do that, really ready to do that, then please do watch my free masterclass. The 5 simple steps my clients used to have the dramatic mind shifts that they needed to absolutely break free from toxic relationships, fall back in love with their life, become the best version of themselves, and win at life. So they never settle for less than they deserve again, and they teach their children what self-love and healthy relationships look like. So if that's if that's what you're ready to do, to really live for your kids and break those unhealthy patterns and pass the most beautiful, empowered legacy onto them, then do watch that free masterclass. The link is down in the description or the comments below. And if you're on YouTube and you like my videos, please do click subscribe and ring the bell so that you always get notified when I am online. And Layla, good to see you here. Nice to have you here. And I hope that's resonated with you. And do let me know when I'm on these live videos where you are. Just say, hello, I'm from Sweden, I'm from wherever. Because I know that a lot of you are from all over the globe. And I love hearing about where you are. And let me know where you're at as well, so I can also tailor my videos. All right, I hope that's helped, and I'll see you in my next video. Just a reminder, the link for my webinar, How to Recover from Toxic Relationships, Fall Back in Love with Your Life, and Never Settle for Less Than You Deserve Again, is in the description or the comments below. Bye for now.